right, we should be live. Thanks you guys for joining me today. It is the 9th of April, so we're here live to answer some questions about Decker, about what's going on, what we have available, and all that good stuff. So thank you for joining me. How this works is I'll just keep talking. I will give you information about Decker and the available positions. I'll talk about the benefits. I'll talk about the equipment. But first and foremost, questions. If you have a question about what we have available or, anything about the position or whatever, then feel free to put it in the chat. I'll address the questions as quickly as I read them so that we put those as a priority. If you're wondering about what's available out of your area, the best way to do that is if you put your zip code in there and follow it with some years of experience. That way, not only are you getting information on the different types of positions that are available, I can actually tell you how much you'll get paid and what to expect that way. All right? Okay. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining me. We also go live every Monday on other social media platforms on Facebook, so feel free to join us at 4 p.m. on Monday on our Facebook page too. But we're here every Tuesday at noon Central, so I'm very glad that you joined us. Some reminders for you out there for all of our professional drivers here at Decker. We do still have the second quarter quarterly safety training going on right now. So if you have yet to complete that, please go and log into our eNugget Learning, our Luma platform, so that you can complete your second quarter training your safety training. That's going to go over a couple of things: slips, trips, falls, some IT safety or cybersecurity. It's also going to go over details on inspections, which will come in quite handy, seeing as we have the inspection blitz that will be coming up nationwide for the 14th through the 16th of May. So May 14th through May 16th, there'll be the blitz. Now it's going to work. They're going to focus more on the traction control system as well as drug and alcohol possession. So they'll be looking a little bit for that too. I do want you to keep in mind when it comes to the blitz that are out there, and these are annual things, so if you're not familiar, if you're new to the industry, this is something that happens every single year. They do focus on a few different things each time so they can see the improvements. So yeah, the roadside inspection blitz is the traction protection systems and alcohol and controlled substance possession. But again, they're going to be looking at everything. They're going to be checking from head to toe as always. And speaking of as always, we do pay $50 for clean inspections. So if you submit your clean inspection, get that in, you will get an additional $50 for that. Last week we paid $200 out. Normally it usually runs between, usually 300's a low number for us. So 450 to 7 is pretty common. At least that's what I tend to see. But anyways, if you are wondering about the inspection, please feel free to ask questions. We'll give you a little bit of detail on there for whatever we have. But again, it's an annual thing, and they just focus a little bit on a few different things each year. So that's the roadside inspection. There's usually one safety inspection in August too, but this one's the annual one that comes in May. So, all right, cool. Pre-trips, post-trips, gotta do them all, right? When it comes to the pre-trip, you're looking before you head out, but if you don't do a post-trip, sometimes that can cause you delay in the morning and then throwing your whole day, your load off completely. So yes, a pre-trip is part of your day in and day out, but so should the post-trip. So please make sure that you are doing both. Like for instance, if you had damage to the underbody of the truck, or maybe even to a tire that you wouldn't have recognized until the next morning after you had a full day's worth of driving, if you did your post-trip, you could identify that issue ahead of time instead of waiting till the morning, finding out during your pre-trip that, oh man, I have a nail in my tire or whatever it might be, and then try and get it fixed, where you can get it taken care of when you're on your downtime instead of cutting into your day. So anyways, my suggestion, so please make sure that you are maximizing your time for you. I know downtime drives a lot of us crazy. So yeah, that's the truth, right? Oops, I'm breaking things. All right. As for different positions here at Decker, we do currently have a local position out of Fort Dodge, Iowa. It is a hopper position. We only have one, and I know they don't really last very long because people, when people are looking for local positions and they hear about it, they jump on it right away. We do normally look in-house before we offer it outside, like as in on Facebook or YouTube. But if you are a current driver here of Decker and you would like to look at that local position, please reach out to your recruiter or even let your driver manager know to determine if you'd be eligible for it. So it's a local position out of Fort Dodge, Iowa. It actually runs from Fort Dodge, Iowa to Blair, Nebraska. It's a hopper position. It starts at 8 a.m. You have the option of either doing 3 days on and 3 days off, 2 days on, 2 days off, or you can do 11 in a row and then 3 days off. So 11 on and 3 days off. It's up to you on what you want to do there. The pay is not a mileage pay. Instead, it is a shift pay. And like I said, it's an 8 a.m. start. It starts at $2.25 per shift, Monday through Friday. But if you are on your Saturday, Sunday shift, you'll be paid $2.50 for each of those. So $2.25 Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday is $2.50. But again, your schedule is up to you if you want to do the 2 on, 2 off, 3 on, 3 off versus the 11 on, 3 off. Totally up to you on that one. Cool. And obviously with the 11 on, 3 off, you're looking at a little bit more of a paycheck because you do have more days on. So, trying to see, you do qualify for our benefits after 60 days as well. If you're new to Decker and that's something that you're looking to get into, you must also live within a 25-mile radius of Fort Dodge in order to qualify for that. So that's another key thing to keep in mind. As for benefits, it's Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's an 80-20 plan. And like I said, it starts after 60 days. Medical, dental, vision, prescription. We have a 50% match on the 401k. And actually, there's a whole lot of life insurance and additional insurance, supplemental insurances out there that you can add on to, or that we offer that you can add on to your coverage that you already have. So we pay for $10,000 on yourself, $5,000 on the spouse for life insurance. But like I said, you can up that. I know personally it was affordable. It was good coverage, so I upped it myself. But you can, is it 125, I think, or 150 that you can go up without an additional physical for life insurance. I can't remember. And 25 for, it's been a few years. When I started in 10, that's what it was in 2010. So, but yes, I know with everything else, the coverage has gone up and up. As for the medical and the dental, they've just, our benefits department, they've fought hard to get additional coverage for you, which is awesome. And that's why you see the multiple prescription options. We have a prescription option that is a $0 copay for in person. So if you go to pick up at either anywhere but CVS or Walgreens, so pretty much anywhere else, then it's a $0 copay for generic. But then we also have the $0 copay for brand and specialty drugs. It is a different plan, but that's because you're going usually online for that. So and then you can get 2-3 months. I think 3 months is max that you can get ordered for you with some of those specialties. But it's $0 copay. You'll want to make sure that the prescription that you have is covered under that in case, because I know sometimes the levels are different for some places than others. So you've got the generic $0 copay, you've got the brand and specialty $0 copay options as well, and then of course the mail. So, awesome. Yeah, if you need more information on the benefits package, let us know. We do have the EAP program, which is the Employee Assistance Program. That is provided to you by Decker Truck Line, and it's a life balance, basically work-life balance. It helps for really just resources for balancing your life, whether you're trying to figure out the transition from, just being two of you to all of a sudden now you have a little one, or maybe you're trying to go through the adoption process, or maybe you're at the place in your life where you're dealing with adult care and you're trying to juggle that and learn the ropes of it, what to do. It could also be with estate planning and quitting smoking or abuse. There's so many resources that are part of that EAP program, and it's something that I feel that we need to make sure everybody is aware that EAP program is available to you, especially as we come in to May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, because there are resources there that offer additional support and counseling in addition to all of our other health benefits that we do have. These are free. You have three calls, 3 conferences, or counseling sessions that you can go through before being assigned somebody who can help take it on. So anyways, it's a great resource to take advantage of. If you have questions about it, let us know. It's free to you and your family. With other benefits that we have, I mentioned the 50% match on the 401k. We have vacation is after your first 6 months, you get after your first 6 months, there we go, you get 5 days of vacation, and then you'll get another 5 days or another week at your 1 year mark. And then at your 3 year mark, you'll get 2 weeks, and then you'll get 3 weeks at your 7 year mark. Of course, it re-ups every year. Excuse me. Re-ups every year. But that's where the increment grows, is at 3 years and 7 years. So, okay. All right. So over the road and Midwest regional positions, we have refrigerated and we have flatbed. So our over the road refrigerated is going to be coast to coast. Most of it's going to be west of the Mississippi for the longer length of haul. The Northwest, Pacific Northwest, like Washington, Idaho, Montana, Utah. You'll see runs into Northern Oregon around Hermiston or Pendleton, Portland, of course, and then along I-5. Now, currently within our hiring area, Seattle along 90 to Missoula, Montana is currently within our hiring area. Portland, we're currently hiring out of Portland, out of Salt Lake City. Denver, Colorado is an area that we are currently hiring out of. Yes, we do run 40 sometimes, but we go into Phoenix, but we don't currently have any positions available out of there. So just keep in mind, that's why these weekly Q&As are a great opportunity for you to get your questions answered, because the hiring options, the hiring locations, they change on a regular basis based off of need and availability. So always a good thing to be checking with the recruiter or right here on our lives. We do have more Midwestern, more regional, I should say, opportunity as well in the refrigerated division. So if you live in Denver or east of there, especially up and down the Midwest, Iowa is fantastic, Minnesota, around the Minneapolis area, Kansas City, Omaha, Nebraska, all really strong areas for our regional refrigerated division. Now, Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, those are other locations that we do currently have refrigerated out of there. It would get you home about every 11 days. You're home for 3 days. We figure for every 7 days you're out, it's a day and a half home time. But yeah, 11 days out gets you 3 days home time in those divisions. And then we run in that division, the one that's more regional, You just won't go west. So you won't go west of Denver for the most part. The rest of it is going to be up and down the Midwest. And really, whether you're in our over the road refrigerated, our over the road flatbed, or even our regional positions, the Midwest is really heavy for freight for us. We've been based out of Fort Dodge, Iowa since the beginning of time. No, since 1931. And it's built strong relationships, or we've built strong relationships with our customers. We have some of the same customers that we did back then, and we just continued to grow that way. Speaking of continuing to grow, I do want to congratulate all of the Decker team and the Decker family for another Best Fleets to Drive For. Today was the announcement of the top Best Fleets to Drive For, and of course Decker was one of the top 20 Best Fleets to Drive For in 2024. This is our third year in a row, so we're pretty darn proud to be part of that and to learn from the surveys that the drivers take for it, and then of course the communication from our drivers there. The Best Fleets to Drive For is a program that has been around for quite a few years, but yes, has earned the 2024 Best Fleets to Drive For. It's quite fantastic. But it's been around for a while that they are chosen, or they are nominated, the companies are nominated by the professional drivers themselves. So I can't go in and just say, hey, Decker rocks, everybody should know that. It has to be one of our drivers that nominates us, and then they have to give reason for that nomination. At that point, then a number of surveys go out to the professional drivers at the company, and we also, I was trying to remember the order of all of this. So you get the surveys that go out, and then there's quite a lengthy questionnaire that is filled out by all of management so that we can make sure that we are complete in the answers. And that is answering anything from our freight lanes and customer requests, to the equipment that we offer our drivers, the turnaround time, the miles, the pay, the benefits. I mean, just overall what we are as a company and what we stand for. The culture here at Decker has continued to grow positive, and we've been able to learn some things where we might not have excelled in before, and we've been able to adjust and improve on. But then we've also been able to identify areas that we're like, oh, I didn't realize that was so important. I'm so glad that we do it. We take that extra step. One of the key things, I believe, is our art program. It's in our ambassador program, where we are staying connected with somebody who just recently started with Decker. So for the first couple of months, you're staying connected with your ambassador, so somebody in-house. And as a professional driver here, you're staying connected with them for about 2 months. And that way they're calling you, they're emailing you to ask questions. Do you need anything? Or did you get your benefits in? We don't want you to miss out on the benefits, because sometimes that's why you came to Decker. Other times it could be the equipment. Other times it could be the pay and the safety net. You know exactly what you're going to be making every single week, at least what you'll be making every single week. So it could be a number of reasons why you come to work for Decker, and the relationship that we've built with our drivers. But the art program is there to support you along the way. There's a lot of information that you're given when you come to orientation. So speaking of orientation, we have a 5-day orientation for students. And of course, that's limited to the number of students that we can take on each week. But then we also have our 3-day orientation for experienced drivers. As an experienced driver, you also qualify for a sign-on bonus. That sign-on bonus is, right now it's currently at $2,000, with the exception of our Midwest flatbed, one of our Midwest flatbed divisions that one is an $8,000 sign-on bonus, available for just a couple of individuals, not many actually. So that is based, again, for experience. It's just, we only have a couple of slots available at that $8,000. And if you want it, by the way, I definitely suggest you call that 800 number. That's our recruiting number. 877-433-2537. They'll be able to help you out. Make sure that you qualify for that sign-on bonus, which pays out within the calendar year. So you get $2,000 after 3 months, $2,000 at 6 months, and then the remaining $4,000 pays out on your 1-year anniversary. Again, that's for the Midwest Flatbed. As for the refrigerated and our other flatbed divisions, that is a $2,000 sign-on bonus. It pays out on first dispatch, 30, 60, 90, and 180 days. That's what it is. And $500 for each of those installments, all 4 installments there. Okay, so back to orientation. It's a 3-day orientation for experienced drivers, and you'll go through company policies, procedures. You would have already qualified. We would have done the legwork and made sure that we've got employment verifications. We did your physical and your drug test ahead of time. We do both the urinalysis and the hair follicle, so those are both covered. And your physical, if you already have a physical that's good for another year, then we could usually use that one. You just have to send over your long form so we can get that approved. But that is all taken care of before you actually come to orientation. We also have an online orientation. You get paid an extra $100 to make sure that that is completed before orientation. And yes, you get that $100 for completing it, but you must complete it before you come to orientation. If you don't, then technically you're not ready for the in-person orientation, because we're diving in. We want to make sure that you're up to speed with everything else. An introduction, a short, brief introduction for our company history, and a little bit about us, what our culture is like, what we represent, and how we will continue to take care of you. Some of the benefits that we've been able to accrue. You'll meet with your driver manager. You'll meet with that's usually Wednesday, but you'll meet with some of the different departments, and they'll introduce some of our policies and procedures. For example, our fuel solutions and the training department, they do a fantastic job. When I say training, I mean like orientation department. They do a fantastic job of introducing you into the company and transitioning you throughout. But that's where the ambassador comes in, where they will help to bridge that gap between when you were with the orientation class, the orientation leader, and speaking to them and having them basically right there with you for 3 days, to all of a sudden, now you're out on your own. Yes, you can call or message your driver manager through the TransFlow app. You've got both options there. But sometimes you just want someone to reach out to you to know that, you can call without bothering them. I think that's a question or a worry that a lot of people have is, oh, I don't want to bother them. I know they're busy. Everybody's busy. You're busy. We're busy. We're all busy, but that doesn't mean that we can't help you along the way. We all have things that can fill up our time, right? So, I know they're busy is kind of a phrase I want to put to the back burner, because no matter who you are, we can be busy. We can be busy doing nothing. If you're at home and chilling, you could still be busy doing nothing. So my point is, don't let the idea of, oh, they're busy, prevent you from asking your question. That's what your ambassador is there for. Your driver manager, they're working hard for you as well. They might not have all the answers for you, especially when it comes to benefits or just getting some of your documentation in to safety or whatever it might be. Don't worry about reaching out to your ambassador or your driver manager for that matter. So please don't let that stop you. Katie says our ambassador program is designed to help you to adjust to Decker Truckline and to make sure that your questions are answered along the way. Some of the questions that I get asked more often than not are, when are the benefits kicking in? The benefits kick in at 60 days, but at 21 days, you can submit those. So fill out the benefits package, get that in, and submitted so that when 60 days does come, when it's arrived, it's here, you are all ready to go. Because if you miss that mark, you miss that open enrollment, and that opportunity to take advantage of the benefits that we've worked really hard to make sure that you get. So, but yes, the ambassador program is there for you. All kinds of, and if your ambassador doesn't have the answer, they'll find it. That's their job. They might not know everything, but they do know who to go to for specific things. So feel free to reach out to us. And anyway, so from the ambassador program, another resource that you have. And then we also have from orientation, you'll have your driving test when you're in orientation, and we'll get moving and get you dispatched as soon as possible so that you can start making some money, because that's why most of you guys are coming anyways, to make the money, right? We do have a minimum pay in pretty much all of our divisions, whether you're refrigerated or flatbed. In our refrigerated divisions, currently the minimum is $1,000. That's currently available. That's whether you're over the road or even more regional. When I say minimum, don't hear maximum. It's not maximum. Minimum is minimum. That's our safety net. That's our bottom floor for you, right? And that's $1,000 a week. There are requirements to make sure that you meet that minimum, of course. So make sure that you are available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals, no late loads, no CSA violations for the week, and no preventable accidents for the week. And then get your paperwork in on time. You'll notice that miles was not one of the criteria. That has no bearing on whether or not you qualify for the minimum pay. Being available for dispatch is key, because whether you have the miles, whether you exceeded the miles to get over $1,000 a week or not, is irrelevant if you've made yourself available, because sometimes loads are canceled. Sometimes they're rescheduled. Sometimes the longer length of haul wasn't there for you. So we've taken that into account, and that's why this minimum pay started back in, was it 19? 18? 19? Oh man, I don't even remember. But we've been doing it for a few years now, and for quite a few years now. And it's really helped to just give that peace of mind to a lot of our drivers who, if they were stressed about miles or stressed about their pay because they weren't sure what it was going to be, just have that peace of mind that you're going to make $1,000 a week because you've made yourself available. You haven't had a late load, and that's a late driver service failure, meaning it was late because of you. Now, if it was late because of a customer, a shipper, receiver, that's a different story. That doesn't fall back on you. That's out of your control. But if it was in your control, that's when you would be disqualified for that. And if you're disqualified, you're still going to get your rate of pay per mile and the miles that you run, which in most cases are going to exceed that anyway. So you're looking at, especially for someone who has several years of experience, if you have 10 years of experience in the refrigerated division, you're looking at 65 cents a mile. 10 cents of that's per diem. It's not going to take you that much to make over $1,000 a week, right? If you are an over-the-road flatbed driver and you have 15 plus years of experience, you're looking at 70 cents a mile to start. And yeah, same thing. It's not going to take you that many miles to make over that $1,000 a week. So you're going to get the better of the two. So your rate of pay per mile and the miles that you run versus that minimum safety net that you have. But again, in most cases, you're making your rate of pay per mile because it definitely exceeds that. You see around 15 or so for refrigerated. Flatbed would vary in over the road, usually a little bit more, usually around 16 a week is what you're looking at. So if you have questions, it does depend on the division that you're looking for and the miles what we average in those miles. And of course, how you manage your time. That's going to go too. Because you look at some of these guys who've been here for 30 plus years. We were talking about the anniversaries yesterday, but someone who's been here 30 plus years and manages their time well, really gets the rhythm of it, odds are they're going to get some great miles. They know the system. They know the routine, right? now you have somebody who is maybe brand new to the industry. It might take them a little bit of time to get used to the processes and in order to make themselves available. But we have the coaching, you guys. That's the nice part, is we have a coaching available to you to help you improve. And then, of course, we have individuals who've only been here 16 months, 2 years, 3 years, who've won Driver of the Year. From Alan Smith to Dustin Likens and Matt Neerling. I mean, we've got drivers who they haven't been here for 30 years or even 10 years or even 5 and still able to reach high levels. You know, the Driver of the Year is quite impressive. Speaking of high levels, let's give a shout out to all of our professional drivers who earned the Driver of the Month for February. Gotta remember. Now, March will be out soon, but for February, we have Todd Overson taking the title for our Midwest Refrigerated Van. Raymond McKinley and Tony Nelson both were our runner-ups for that division. And our over-the-road refrigerated dry van division, Lauren Durham takes the title. So congratulations again, Lauren. Rolando Rosales Singh is our runner-up for the over-the-road refrigerated dry van division. And our Midwest flatbed division, Timothy Tyree takes the title. So congratulations to Timothy. David Rulstead is our winner for our over-the-road Southern flatbed position. So congratulations. That's always funny to me to say winner because it's like it's a race, but it's very well earned. I do want you guys to know that their scorecards and their safety bonuses, not only are they paying out on the higher end, but obviously those numbers are really good for them. And we're comparing them to the rest of the fleet. We've got about 860 drivers altogether between our owner-operators, our end lease purchase, and then our company drivers, both in the refrigerated, flatbed, dry van position. So please give them a shout out for the hard work. David Rulstead was the winner for the over-the-road flatbed division. Antonio Fernandez is our runner-up for that division. And Curtis Carson Sr. is the winner for the owner-operator lease purchase position. And these are our driver of the months who will not only receive a Walmart gift card, $100 Walmart gift card, but they'll also get a $50 gift card to the Decker store, get a little bit of Decker swag. And then the runner-ups will get a gift card from Walmart and a gift from the Decker store as well. So congratulations to all of them. And now, because they've won Driver of the Month, that's what puts them into the running for Driver of the Year. And Driver of the Year is an even bigger prize. It's a $3,000 prize for each Driver of the Year winner. And from Driver of the Year, if you're chosen as one of those, then you get a Grand Champion opportunity. So our Grand Champion is the bee's knees of all of them, right? Like you take all of the different divisions, and then the winner of all of the divisions, they will receive the Grand Champion title, which comes with, of course, the decals to do a little bragging rights. The decals, the jacket, the plaque, and the $15,000. So, kind of a big deal. Just kidding. Speaking of a big deal, congratulations to Christopher Winans, who won the $1,000 drawing for the first quarter of our referral drawing. So every quarter we do a referral drawing. So if you referred somebody within that quarter, then your name goes into the drawing for a chance to win $1,000. That's on top of the actual referral bonus. The referral bonus is $2,000 for every driver you refer who hires on, and that pays out at 30, 60, now I'm not going to remember, 30, 60, 90, and 180. Is that right? It pays $500 in each installment. So, and then of course, those that referred within the quarter, their name gets into the $1,000 drawing. And then the top referrer for the year gets a as long as you've referred over 5 drivers within the calendar year and you're the top driver, you get the Grand Champion of referrals, and that is another $2,500. So yes, definitely gives you some opportunity to make a little bit of money and do well. In the past, we had, this is before we increased the referral bonus to 2,000, but in the past we had drivers making 11,000 in referral bonuses alone, just the referral bonus. So there's money to be made there, right? Pretty impressive. I was just gonna double check off the top of my head, I was trying to remember the payout for that. It must not be on here. Shoulda, coulda, woulda put it on here. Thought I did. Okay. Yeah, so the sign-on bonus is 500 at 60, 90, and 100 days. First dispatch. Yep. First paycheck, 60, 90. Okay, so then the referral is at 30. That's the what I was trying to remember. Referral is at 30. That's not updated, so that'll need to be updated. Cool. That's when I find out that I need to update things, Katie, is when I go to look for it, and I was like, oh, it's not on the Trine report. All right. A couple other reminders out there. This is industry-wide, so this is not just for Decker, but I do want to remind anybody, if you have seen the ATRI, are you familiar with that? It's American Transportation Research Institute. They've got a survey. They are requesting that all professional drivers participate in that survey. And the focus is going to be on detention time. That's been a problem for drivers for years. You know, downtime, waiting there at shippers and receivers. And right now they're doing some research trying to get actual solid information to add to their research. So hopefully they'll be able to take action on it. So this is American Transportation Research Institute, ATRI. They've got a survey going out there on the detention time. It's a short survey, but if you could just take a moment to fill that out, by doing so, you're sharing your experiences so that we, as in the trucking industry, can help to improve on some of those detention and delay issues at customer facilities. So you have until the 26th of April in order to take care of that. And yeah, if you have questions, let us know. But if you're part of the Decker family, then you would have gotten an email for the newsletter, and the link is actually there in the newsletter. Speaking of an email from Decker, there's also, TCA is also doing the scholarship program. They do this is an annual scholarship for family members, individuals who are in the trucking industry, and they're looking, or they've got family members, I should say, going to a 4-year or a 2-year. The new part is the 2-year, because before it was just a 4-year scholarship. But now it's a 2-year as well. So if you've got somebody that you know that wants to go in there, the TCA is offering scholarships. So you have till the end of the month. What is it? I got to double check. But you have to be going to school to either a 4-year or 2-year in the 24-25 school year to qualify. Let me double check. That is... I don't see a date on there. So if you will go ahead and submit that, go get to truckload.org/scholarships. Truckload.org/scholarships, and that will get you going for that scholarship application. Cool. Now for the 2-year, I think it's up to $2,000 for the scholarship, and it's $6,200, I think, for the 4-year. And the 2-year, this is the first year that TCA is offering that. So take advantage of that. You can also reach out directly to scholarships at ofic.org to find that as well. Cool. All right. Okay, let's bounce back to some of these available positions that we've got here, and hopefully answer more of your questions. With our over-the-road flatbed division, We run, most of it is going to be east of Denver. We don't do a whole lot out in the west for the over-the-road flatbed division. Now our Midwest flatbed division, we've got a couple of different scenarios. One that runs up and down the Midwest a whole lot, but then we also have a division. It pays $14.50 a week, and it is home weekly, which for flatbed it's a little different than refrigerated. For flatbed, when we say home weekly, you're looking at probably coming home on a Friday night or a Saturday morning, and then leaving back out either Sunday night or Monday morning, usually for a Monday morning delivery. Now, with refrigerated, we can't guarantee you home on the weekend. It just the refrigerated freight runs all throughout the week. So that's why it's a little bit different with the flatbed. That said, either one, our cutoff for payroll is Tuesday night. So tonight at 10, and you get your paperwork in, you scan that in, you're paid Friday on whatever you get in as of Tuesday. So still a minimum pay of $1,000 a week for our over-the-road flatbed, but $1,450 is the minimum pay for this home weekly. This is home weekly, yes. It is a lot of short runs, and you are still doing a lot of tarping and securing. So that's why you're compensated more for it, is because there are more stops usually, and obviously more tarping and securing. Now, you do get paid tarping and securing, but if your rate of pay per mile, the miles that you run in your rate of pay, and the tarping and securement amounts exceed the $14.50, you'll get the better of the two. If they don't, then you have that safety net, that $14.50 safety net, no matter what. Okay? Be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals, no driver service failures, which means no late loads, no CSA violations for the week, no preventable accidents for the week, and you get your paperwork in on time. That's it. That's what qualifies you. So again, if you guys have any questions, the number that keeps flying across the screen, 877-433-2537. That's the telephone number right there that will get you to the recruiting department. They'll be able to give you the details. And again, the details on that $8,000 sign-on bonus that's currently available. If you call in and there is no longer that $8,000 sign-on bonus for that $14.50 Midwest flatbed home weekly position, it's because we hit that limit, okay? Because it's currently available, but there's only so many. So if you have questions on it, please feel free to ask. 877-433-2537. Otherwise, it'd be a $2,000 sign-on bonus for experienced drivers, and it'll pay out within that first year as well. Actually, 6 months for that one. A year for the $8,000. Okay. Excellent. All right, amenity-wise, our trucks have about all you can ask for. They are loaded. Refrigerators and microwaves and CB units. They're double bunk. They have a 22-inch television with company paid satellite TV. It's 100 plus channels, including HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and the Sunday Ticket. Now, we are upgrading. So we will, instead of be using the TransFlow, the tablet, I should say, instead of using the tablet that's in the truck for Wi-Fi data, we are now going to be getting the free Wi-Fi through our Epic View satellite TV. Well, it's not satellite at that point, but it's streaming. So you'll be able to get that through our new system. We are upgrading it right now. So there are some of you who still have the dome on the back of the trucks. Most of you do, by the way, because this is something that's just being implemented now. Talking with Todd on yesterday's live, he says that the Wi-Fi works really well. Of course, rain and bad weather, it is affected, which is pretty much everywhere that I've ever been and ever used. But he says it works really, really good and for streaming and stuff. So yes, that is an upgrade. We're pretty excited about making more comfortable changes for you. So if you are on downtime or if you're in your sleeper, you can relax and unwind. So that's their 22-inch television with those. That's company paid. It is a smart TV. And we have inverters, of course, in the trucks, APUs, inverters. We have Opta Idle in our Freightliners, but the APUs in our Peterbilts and Volvos. and bunk heaters, of course, in the trucks. They're air ride for both the driver's side and the passenger. And yes, we do allow passengers ages 10 on up. And then we have a dog policy as well. The dog must be 85 pounds or less, a non-aggressive breed. And we do allow 2 dogs no more than 60 pounds combined. So that's an option as well. What else for amenities? Because I know I'm missing them. They are loaded. They have, we do have the lytic system in the trucks as well, which includes both the inward and outward facing event recorders. Those come on by a critical event, or triggered by a critical event. So speeding, hard braking, following too close, erratic lane changes, those are what will trigger that inward one. Of course, when you stop, that camera turns off as well. The outside one stays on for 4 hours, but the inside one will come right off. That being said, and you can cover it up once the truck is off, but for the inside one, you will see a little green light, I think. Is it blue or green? Green light that comes on between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. It's updating. So it's not recording at that time. I mean, it's not on, is what I mean. So if you are driving at that time and you have a critical event, then yes, it could be recording. But between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. every day, it is updating. So just a heads up. Those are questions we get. Want to make sure I head it off at the pass. It's okay. It's okay. Not a big deal. What else am I missing? Any other amenities that we have that I can't tell you about or didn't tell you about? I could tell you about it. I just might not have yet. Is that it? All right. All right. Well, if you have questions on any of the additional amenities, any of our bonuses, our pay structure, pay is every Friday, direct deposit. Bonuses, we have monthly bonuses, both our scorecard and our safety. Scorecard is more like a performance-based. Safety is safety. and then we have our Driver of the Month awards, our Driver of the Year, our Grand Champions, our referral, our clean inspections, our clean truck policy. So we have quite a bit of incentives, additional pays here and there throughout. So feel free to reach out to your recruiter so that they'll be able to answer your questions specific to you, because it's going to be based off of where you live, what's available out of there, what your experience level is, and they'll give you all the details. So 877-433-2537, which is 877-4-DECKER, and you can talk to one of the crew here, and we'll go from there. Sound good? All right, I am live next week, next Tuesday at noon Central here. Feel free to join me. We'll give you more up-to-date information and make sure that if there's new available positions that we're filling you in on the loop. Remember, the only local position that we have available right now is an 8 a.m. hopper position out of Fort Dodge, Iowa. You must live within a 25-mile radius for it, and it's a shift pay, so it pays per shift. Yeah. All right. Have a great one, you guys. We will see you next week.